Here at Mediavania, we are video gamers. We are video gamer parents. We like movies. So let's discuss the new Super Mario's Brother movie to see if it would check off all the boxes for all those different categories that we kind of feel. So Matt, Nick, we've all seen the movie. It's we saw it for opening weekend. And just so you'll know, there's not a lot of spoilers in this movie, but we will be talking about this in a spoiler sort of way. So if you haven't seen it, maybe you want to skip or come back and watch. But again, there's really not that much to spoil. So I saw it on opening night on Wednesday night. Didn't anybody see it Wednesday?
I saw it Wednesday.
Ha! Real fan.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Wednesday.
We went on Friday like casuals.
A while ago, a couple weeks back, actually at this point, a couple months back, one of the theaters, Fandango ran a deal where it was buy one get one free on the tickets, and it only lasted like, I don't know, a couple hours until that was like all gone. But I got my son and I, so just as a heads up, as far as what Marty said, gamer parents, I have a 9-year-old, and so I bought a ticket for him and myself. And Nick, what night did you go and take your boys?
Yeah, we went on Friday, and I took the entire family. Like my wife and all three of our boys went, ages 5 to 9. Yeah, the whole U clan went.
That's right. And how about Marty went opening night as well, but did not take his sons.
No, my middle son, who is here, went with us along with my wife, and then actually him, his younger brother, and their friends went and saw it again on Friday night.
Wow,
right on.
Yeah. Now, I will say, was the theater packed where y'all were? Because it was the most crowded I've seen a theater since before the pandemic. It was crazy.
And we're coming into this at the end of the weekend. We're recording this Sunday night. The first weekend out, and Marty, I'm sure you got them handy, but the numbers are like, this is the biggest animated movie opening in history. It has beaten Frozen 2. And I think it's $350 some odd million. What was it?
204 domestic, 377 international, I believe.
377.
It's nuts.
We're getting all the sequels, you guys, whether you like it or not.
We're getting the Mario. We're getting the new MCU, the Mario Cinematic Universe.
I want to talk about that too for a minute. Like, I want to break down like what later in the video, what you want out of sequels, what would be our ideal sequel. I think I have the plot of it already, by the way.
Yeah, I like your pitch, your log line is like a good one.
I'll pitch you guys my sequel later, but we'll get to that in a little bit after we talk about Mario 2. But yes, our theater was packed. It was awesome. I think anytime that I can take Andy to like an opening movie like that and get the energy from the crowd who's like clapping and excited and laughing all together and stuff. It's like, well, I love going to the movies and I want to share that with him. So experiences like this, it's why I was excited about it. All the trailers leading up to it, while people were at the beginning had a little doubts of the voice cast, maybe especially like Mario. I think that's kind of all out the window now. I thought the voice cast did awesome. I think they were all good with maybe a couple exceptions. For me, like, I thought they were all pretty good though. What do you guys think of the voice cast?
I thought they were all right, but Jack Black definitely stole the show. Like, as you mentioned, we also had a packed theater, and literally anytime he said anything, like the entire theater was laughing.
Yeah, in his songs, he sings.
Yeah,
just
the Peaches song
has a great song. And did you guys stay for the credits? By the way,
both? I did. Yeah,
we missed.
There's like a mid-credit scene, but
we missed the end credits. We had to watch it later. But go, Marty. What about you? Voice cast.
Yeah. So we number one, we enjoyed the voice acting too. I got the whole Chris Pratt thing. I went, Chris Pratt, that's kind of weird. But they explain it in the movie. And when you explain it within the context of the movie, I was okay with it. And then I kind of forgot it was Chris Pratt. I forgot it was Jack Black till he sang. And that was very much Tenacious D coming out, which was fine. But it was like,
I think that song was credited as Tenacious D.
Was it?
I think so. I could have swore I saw their name in the credits. Maybe it's something I can kind of check on it. But
the one that I didn't really care for was Donkey Kong, because it was just Seth Rogen, and I couldn't unhear that it was Seth Rogen. And when he did his laugh, he did it a couple times too.
So
you really have to put that in there.
Yeah, and it's interesting, right? I think the Donkey Kong thing, it's a story on its own, right? Seth Rogen took some heat because in pre-interviews he straight up let people know like he'll be in this movie, but he's not going to do a voice. Like he didn't want to do a voice. They're like, they're like, I'll be in it, but this is how I sound. And so
Mhm.
and they went with it anyway because so they chose essentially Seth Rogen, and I guess either they wanted his voice or his name or a little bit of both, right? In the grand scheme of it, I was okay with it. I am a fan of Seth Rogen. Like I do like most of his stuff, so like it didn't really bother me too much. But I could see how if somebody wasn't a fan of his at all, Donkey Kong's gonna fall flat.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
think.
Now, here's the thing. I love what they did with Donkey Kong. I think the interaction between him and Mario was really cool. I enjoyed that part of it. And the thing is, though, with the sequel, I mean, Seth Rogen will be
Yeah.
back. So, I mean, I
Yeah.
just might as well
Oh,
just
sure.
go ahead
Well,
and get used to
and
it.
that's kind of like, man, I think about this, and not to jump the gun into sequels, but we are talking about voice cast. That's a big cast to bring back for every movie. Like
It
that's like
is.
an Avengers sized cast. But when you make this much money, man, Super
Yeah.
Mario's gonna be making bank, and they're gonna be paying bank to keep all these actors happy because they're all gonna ask
Yeah.
for
Right.
more money next time and the time after that, and
I did
these
have.
side movies.
Sorry, Marty, you want to go ahead?
No, go ahead.
I have one thing about the voice cast. It wasn't the voice itself, but Anya Taylor-Joy bugged me a little bit
Did she?
because of how they animated Peach. Like all the other characters are very in accordance with like how the characters normally look, right? Like Mario looks like Mario, like he doesn't look like Chris Pratt. But then they animated Princess Peach to look like Anya Taylor-Joy. Like
Did
she's
they?
got like that pouty expression like a bunch of times, and her face kind of
Mhm.
looks like it. Like they actually
A
took
little
cues
bit.
from her, and that actually kind of bothered me because I'm like, that doesn't look like Princess Peach. That looks like Anya Taylor-Joy, right?
Yeah,
Those are her
I
facial
can.
expressions.
It,
That's like her pouty lip, right? That's her expression.
I get what you're saying. It didn't bug me, but I do get what you're saying. I'd say in the voice cast again. Maybe last thing is I really enjoyed Toad. I think
Yeah,
he did a really. I just wish he was in it
Keegan Michael
more.
Key.
yeah.
Yeah, I just wish he didn't. I feel like every time he was in it was great, but in every scene that he had, he kind of like stole a little bit of the spotlight. It's like I remember
Mhm.
like Mario pulling up in Mario Kart and just walking around the castle with him. I thought that he was very good in it, but
I actually somebody that bothered me actually more than Seth Rogen. A little bit of a spoiler is Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong.
Oh yeah.
That's not the voice I would expect for Cranky Kong. I would expect some crusty old guy, and it wasn't that. I played Donkey Kong Country. That's not the voice that I would give
yeah,
a
yeah.
Cranky Kong,
Yeah, I kind of get that. I get that too a little bit. I
I love
honestly,
Fred Armisen. Don't get me wrong. He does some
Mhm.
great voices. I just didn't think his voice fit that character.
I forgot who did Cranky Kong until after the movie, and I was like, "Who was he?" I didn't even realize that was Fred Armisen until after the movie. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm like, that was a little weird, but again, I think overall, for me, the voice cast was good, and I think
Yep.
Chris Pratt did a good job, especially for the story. So, like, kind of segue into the story. I think the story was fine. I think it was very serviceable. It was just, and this is, I think, where Nick is gonna like come down on it a little bit. But I thought it might have moved a little fast, but I did kind of, from the trailers, you could kind of pull that it was gonna be Mario got swept into this mushroom kingdom and didn't know. So, he's from New York, right? And in the commercial, he does a really good Italian Mario accent, right? And then it comes down, and that's not the way that he really talks, but he is like an Italian American, so he has more of an American voice versus the Italian side of it. And I just thought that was kind of neat. And overall, the plot I thought was fine, other than it maybe moving a little fast. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I
Nick.
mean, and you mentioned the right word, serviceable, right? It was very paint by numbers. There no surprises. And as Marty said, like, like I guess we're going to talk about spoilers, but it's impossible to spoil this movie because it's not really going to surprise anyone. It won't
Right.
shock you. But I mean, I don't want that to say though. I did enjoy this movie. I thought it was fun. My kids loved it. I had a good time, but it wasn't like some kind of. It's not going to be some kind of trend-setting narrative, but nor does it
Right.
have to be for Mario.
Yeah, I agree. It's a kids movie made for kids. I mean, we've all seen some amazing animated movies to where there's a story that actually hooks adults. Maybe there's some jokes in there to kind of please adults like that. This
Mm.
really doesn't have that. So the last animated, let's use English this time. The last animated movie I saw was the Puss in Boots. I can't
Mhm.
think of what the subtitle was. That was a really cool movie with a really cool story.
Oh
And
yeah,
it kept
Puss in
me
Boots was great.
engaged.
Yep.
You know, if I
Mhm.
had to pick which movie is actually better, it's Puss in Boots because of the character development, the heart, and everything like that. What I loved about Mario, and I don't care that it was fan service. As a fan, I love the fan service. And if you have never played a Mario game, this movie will be lost on you. And I read reviews of people who had obviously never played a game because they were confused by things that happened in the movie. It's like, that's directly from the game, dude. You know?
Yeah, and I think that a big difference in the story. What's that, Nick?
I would say I think that was okay
Did you
though.
say something?
My wife is not a big Mario player at all. She hasn't played the games, but she loved the movie. Like she's familiar with Smash Brothers and Mario Kart, but that was enough for her.
Yeah, yeah. No, but I think on what Marty was saying as far as how like it's a kids movie made for kids. And I think the story was made for kids, right? I think
Mhm.
the plot was made for kids, and I think all the nostalgia and all of the little Easter eggs and stuff were put in there for us, right? Like
Mm.
that's what kind of kept us in it. Like his ringtone or his
Okay, his ringtone got me. I'm not going to
yeah,
spoil what it was,
yeah, it was
but
awesome.
I got giddy when I heard
Yeah,
his
yeah, it's
ringtone.
yeah, because it's like that's hitting all those little it's giving
Mhm.
you those little boosts of serotonin all the
Yeah,
way through the
he's playing
movie. It
Kid
just
Icarus in his room, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
every single one of those was for us. The plot was for the kids, right? And because yeah, maybe there's these kids who still haven't like grown up with Mario just yet, like or they haven't got to see. And this is a lot of kids' first exposure with Mario. Let's keep the story super
Yeah.
simple. Let's make it about the brothers, and and it wasn't about saving Princess Peach, right? Like
Mhm.
that's where it was about saving his brother, and I think that's just where it is. And all the nostalgia beats though were super cool, and when it felt like a video game was like really neat, and and just again fun to watch. It almost felt like Miyamoto was a producer on this film, and it truly felt like anything that Miyamoto like wanted in this movie, they put in it. And you can kind of like, for me, it just again, it's a lot of the video gamey stuff. Like, what I'm talking about is maybe some of those little nostalgic kicks, like the ringtone, or um, during the Mario Kart scene, they're actually boost sliding like
Mhm.
around. Like it's little details like that that you can kind of see him like in the background going, well, they should be doing this, or
Yeah.
it's Mario consultants, people that are watching that know about Mario gave us those moments.
Yeah. And like for longtime gamers, when the blue mushroom shows up, that's the wrong mushroom. Like we all knew, but like it was
Yeah,
a surprise to like the general
and you
moviegoing
knew
audience.
you knew when they were playing Mario Kart, the blue shell was going to come out,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Like you're like, all right, where's the blue? Oh, here's the blue shell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
That was a
know,
funny moment.
um,
Exactly.
if I had to knock, oh, go on, Marty. Did you say
No,
you
no,
got something?
I was going to say, yeah, no, it's that was the fan service that as a fan I loved, and if they hadn't have put that in there, I would have liked it even less.
Mhm.
Um, I wasn't there for the story. I was there to see some great animation, and Illumination, the studio that did the animation, did an amazing job with that. I got the Easter eggs. Look, I had fun. I came out happy. Will it win an Oscar? No.
Right, right.
The only thing this could be possibly up for is animation, and that's
Yeah.
about it.
They
Well,
did kill it though. The animation's
the
incredible.
animation's superb. Like
Mhm.
the locations, the everything about it, the choreography, like it all looked incredible. All the small details, like I did think this movie looked amazing on top of anything else, right? Like it was a wonderful looking animated movie, and I think it could go up for best animated film. Just
Yeah.
thinking about what else currently it's going up against,
That
but
that category is usually pretty sparse anyway, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if it ends up there.
I did have one knock against the plot, and it's it's I think they showed too much in the trailer. This
Mm.
movie, I
That's
mean,
modern movies,
so
yeah.
I know, but
Yeah.
for some reason, this movie maybe because I watched the trailers a bunch of times, or it was just so much lead up, and obviously, there's the biggest opening ever, so whatever they did trailer wise worked, and it's going to be the way it is forever. But um, it did feel like as I was watching the movie, it was just like I felt like I was working my way through the trailer, like
Mhm.
right,
Yeah.
you're like, oh yeah, here's this part from
Yeah.
the trailer, and here's that part from the
Yeah.
trailer.
Right, it's even presented in sequence, right?
It
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
totally, and it was just like you just beat for beat, you went through the trailer, and it was extended, a little bit. Obviously, it's extended, but I really did feel like some of the, points were just a little spoiled from the extended trailer. And,
Mm.
you know, will I maybe try on Mario 2 to maybe just watch the teaser and that's it? Because I'm going to go see it anyway, right? Like, we're going to go see the second one, but I guess we'll know when the time comes if I break down and watch the second trailer.
I will say that just moving to another aspect, Brian Tyler did an amazing job on the soundtrack. This was the guy that took iconic Mario songs and basically put them into a cinematic movie. And he did an amazing job taking tunes that we are all familiar with, clips and hooks and stuff, and making a brilliant orchestration. And a lot of knockback on this movie, and I get it. The knockback for this is the use of 80s songs in the movie. And I guess it's because he came from the 80s, but some of it was just odd. Some of the songs have been overused already.
Right. Like Take On Me, I Need a Hero.
Yeah, so Take On Me. So this is interesting. So there's a part where Take On Me is used, and it's used in... what's the name of the island? Donkey Kong Island or Monkey Island or whatever it's called. There was a song that Brian Tyler wrote for that particular scene, and they pulled it out and stuck in Take On Me. Somebody took the original soundtrack song from Brian Tyler and put it in that scene, and it's basically it's a medley of stuff from the Donkey Kong Country game, and it fits so much better and has that nostalgia bait that I would have just been grinning ear to ear because it's music that I absolutely love. I think they dropped the ball by using all the 80s music.
They did, like, there's a good sequence there. Like, they used the DK rap, which I wasn't expecting, but that was funny. And also, was it Diddy Kong? One of the, I think, shows up with the congas. Yeah. So there's like a little throwaway Donkey Konga joke in there too.
There's a lot. If I go see, I would like to go see it again and kind of like, what did I miss? Like, you know what I mean? I think, I'd like to see all the little bits and pieces because there's so many Easter eggs that it'd be impossible to catch them all the first time you saw them.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, because I know we want to talk a little bit about sequels. As a movie critic, a movie reviewer, and you had to give this a score out of 10, where would you even throw a score? And then I'm going to ask you as a fan, where would you rate it? So I'm going to give you an out. You know, in case you just as a fan, did it meet what you wanted? But just as a movie reviewer, how would you rate it?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I think it's just, for me, I think it's an 8 and 8. I think it's, you know, and yeah, I mean, I could do the Rotten Tomatoes thing where I say it's a terrible movie, but the inner child of me loved it, you know, or whatever. Because as we know, the big story Rotten Tomatoes right now is it has like a 50 some odd percent critic rating, but then the user rating is like super high.
It's 96.
Yeah, I think, listen, I look at the overall experience of taking my kid, and, you know, I honestly, yeah, I could subjectively break this thing down even more, but I really don't want to. I had such a good time with it. And it is such a fun movie. I'll purchase it when it comes out. We'll watch it a bunch of times at home, and he will continue to be in love with Mario like I was in love with Mario and still am, you know? So I think it just stays at an 8 across the board for me.
All right, I'm gonna do the split. As a film critic, this is a 6 out of 10 film. Like, it's fun, it's perfectly cromulent, right? It's okay, but like you mentioned already, the breakneck pacing. There's some issues with transitions and how they just kind of threw everything. Like, they didn't hold anything back. Like, we saw Smash Brothers, we saw Mario Kart, right? It was just a whole. It was like written by committee, paid by numbers, and like there were no surprises, which is fine. But as a parent, like. And I saw the huge grins on my kids and even my wife's face, like walking out of the theater. This is like a 9 out of 10 from like gamer dad fan perspective.
For sure.
But I think you could say this. Sorry, I think, you know, do a little bit of a tabletop tie-in. You could say this is kind of the Settlers of Catan of like video game adaptions, right? Because not everyone's gonna love it. It's not gonna be your favorite movie, but it's got something for everybody, so everyone can sit down and agree and go see it together.
I'm going to copy Nick's scores. Now, I'm the one that says a 5 out of 10 is average. So as a movie with the voice acting, the music, the animation, giving it a 6. As a fan, it's a 9 because I walked out of there smiling. I was smiling during the movie. Our whole family was smiling. As a Nintendo fan playing the original Super Mario Brothers, it's just called Mario Brothers in the arcade. and Donkey Kong from day one. Thumbs up as a fan, man. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, we look at this, we can look at Last of Us, and what are these adaptations kind of getting right? And what they're getting right is that they're just going by the source material. They're just giving us the thing, right? They're just giving us what we've been asking for years and years. Don't drastic...
Hold on. Hey, Disney and Warner Brothers, are you listening to this?
Well, also
just
Paramount who did Halo. Yeah, like don't do Halo. Don't do Halo like the Halo show.
No,
it's okay to make a fan service movie when the material that you're using is beloved, like all of us.
And that's what happened. Like, that's it. You know, Last of Us stuck to it, and Mario just stuck to what it knew, and for good or bad, right? Like it just.
Here's the bad thing: everybody's going to be buying up video game rights, thinking they can reproduce $1 billion movie because this will probably cost $1 billion worldwide, and so we're going to get a bunch of crap.
Yeah, I'll say one of the exceptions, I think the Sonic movie is really good. And that one, obviously, Sonic went kind of a little bit in a different direction. But I think that Sonic 1 and 2 is another example of just treating its source material really well. And
even Detective Pikachu, right? These are the movies that they were made by people who obviously loved the games. Like there's no contempt for the source material.
Well, and I think we're also getting to the point right now where we're at the age that people our age who grew up with the games and stuff are making movies, right? Like, and that's just it. We're getting these fans, and we're seeing really good stuff come out of it. And I just think there were enough hands on deck for that Super Mario movie to just give us enough throughout the whole movie to just keep smiles on our faces as far as those nostalgic hits and all those little Easter eggs.
Y'all mentioned that you're going to be buying the Blu-ray. I did pre-order the soundtrack on vinyl, so I will have that coming. And
it's a cool looking record.
Yeah, it's one is green. Cool. One's green, one's blue. What's weird is the limited edition was pink and yellow, but I had no interest in pink and yellow. I wanted the regular retail of green and blue.
So what do we want, real quick, before we wrap it up? What do we want out of a sequel?
That's what I was going to transition
that's where you're going to. Gotcha.
There's our covered other review. So, Matt, you have a great idea. I love your pitch for a sequel. Go.
So here's the thing. I think that obviously if you stuck around for the post credits scene, it's they tease Yoshi. Now Yoshi was in the movie, but the different colored Yoshis. Green Yoshi, I don't think was one of the ones in the herd. He might have been, but
I wish they hadn't even shown that scene. It'd have been cooler if that was the first time you saw.
Yeah. So at the end of the movie, you see the little egg crack. We got Yoshi. So I think our villain's got to be Wario, right? Like they're gonna bring Wario into this world. Whether they bring in Waluigi as well together, I don't know. But I think that Wario is going to be our new threat. Wario is going to be wants to take over some form of Mushroom Kingdom himself, or be causing havoc, which is going to cause Mario and Luigi and the crew to get back together. They're going to have a new friend, Yoshi. And I think that possibly with the turn of Bowser might be good as well. So he could potentially work with Yoshi and the crew to go fight Wario. But then I think Bowser in the end is going to double cross everybody to go out for himself. So I think that's the plot of number 2. Super Mario Brothers 2. What was Mario Brothers 2 called? What was the official title of? There's some trivia.
I think it's just Super Mario Brothers 2.
I think there was another title.
It wasn't like Mario Harder, right?
No, I'll look it up. But that's what I think Mario 2 is going to be. All right, so Nick, what do you want out of a sequel?
Yeah, I mean, I'd watch that movie 100%.
yeah, for sure.
I'd like to see more active Luigi. Like he was the damsel in distress in this movie, so we didn't get a lot out of him. Like he was basically just in peril the entire time. But I'd like to see him. I want to see him do that weird floaty leg kicking jump. Oh, okay, Mario Madness. Good trivia. I didn't even remember that.
Right? Mario 2, Mario Madness is apparently the subtitle of. I want that to be the poster too. I want him to not that, but
you want it to be My Hero Academia.
Yeah. Just jumping with that radish in his hand, But anyway.
Yeah. So I'd like to see more Luigi, but we joked about it in the very beginning too. Mario Cinematic Universe. I think if they decide to go really crazy with it, that might maybe this is your chance to bring in Link and Zelda, right? This is your chance to bring in Samus. Things of that nature. So maybe we'll see.
Yeah, Wario is the perfect villain in the next movie, and the voice casting is extremely important for Wario because he has an iconic voice that needs to be recreated.
I would say Jack Black would be a good Wario, right?
I saw somebody say who they think should be Wario. They think Pedro Pascal should be Wario. I'm telling you, like, I bet he could do a killer Wario voice. If you watch him on Saturday Night Live, he can do some really funny voices, and he's very funny. And I bet you any amount of money, if they could get him, he would be really good. But
yeah,
Wario.
No, I think that's a great idea for a sequel. It's coming. We talked about the Nintendo at the NCU on the Nintendo Cinematic Universe. I honestly, I'm a huge Metroid fan. I swear, I know she'd have to talk. That's fine, but I'm sorry. A bounty hunter story of her going out into space. It's a whole new area. It's sci-fi. It's very different. Link and Zelda could be totally fantasy based. You've got two iconic IPs sitting out there that have done right, could be amazing.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I have another idea. Like, what if they pull a 180 and the next movie isn't even Mario 2 and it's like Yoshi's Island, right? Like, what if they really try to NCU this up and like make a full movie about Yoshi and his crew before they even bring him into the world, and then bring us Mario 2 like after that with Yoshi or something? I don't know. I could see a Yoshi's Island movie getting spun up.
I think they're going to leverage this A-list cast though, so I think you have to bring everybody back.
That's true. Yeah, you don't bring everyone back. You put this out. You put that off.
Right.
Yeah.
People were like, I just wanted more Chris Pratt.
Yeah. No, that's good. But end of the thoughts. Yeah, last thoughts. It's a great movie. Take your kids if you got them. If you don't, go by yourself. It's super fun. If you like Mario. If you don't know who Mario is and you don't have kids, I don't know. Maybe wait till it comes home.
I think we all said 2 months ago that we thought this potentially could be $1 billion movie. It's pretty much confirmed at 377 million worldwide in 5 days. It's not even out in all countries like Japan. It will break $1 billion. The question is, will it beat Frozen 2 as the number one all time?
I think so. I think it has to with this momentum.
And this was a holiday weekend. A lot of people may have not gone to the movies because it was a holiday weekend. So we'll see what the legs are next weekend when there's really nothing to compete against this until Guardians in May.
Yeah, good call. That's it. Well,
y'all, that is our thoughts on the Super Mario Brothers. I think, Matt, you said it best. You said everything I'd want to say too. It's a fun movie. Go see it. Definitely take your kids. This is one of those things, Matt, you said too. A lot of kids may not have the history with Mario. Seeing this movie will probably make a lot of kids pick up those old Mario games and start playing through them and bring up a whole new generation into those classic games that all of us grew up with.
Yeah, it made Andy and I come home and play Smash Brothers. So, immediately, like him, he was just, we wanted to play some Mario when we got home.
Yeah, we played Mario Kart as a family.
Oh, we played some Mario Kart too, of course. I mean, that's like the perfect game to get into after this. Like, hey, did you like that scene in the movie? You can play it. You can play it right now.
Okay, this is a spoiler, but what a great callback to Mario and Luigi as babies.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Mario was good.
Yep.
Yeah, Mario was good.
Because you could play that in Mario Kart.
Andy was looking for the big truck that Toad drove, though. And it's not, you can get a big car, but I don't know if that big truck is in there.
Not that big, yeah.
Not that big truck. And 8 anyway. I don't know. We couldn't find it.
All right, y'all. That has been our thoughts on the Super Mario Brothers movie. Let me ask y'all, what do y'all think? Have you seen it? Let us know in the comments below. Give us your thoughts on the movie, the pluses, the minuses. If you like this video, please give a like. And if you're not subscribed, please do so. So I've been Marty.
I'm Matt.
I'm Nick.
And we'll see y'all next time.